Loneliness is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it is a feeling that forces us to learn the lessons we've been refusing to learn. While it might be hard to accept, sometimes the things we take away from having been lonely are worth the pain and frustration we may go through. When we are lonely and in our feelings, we are forced to deal with thoughts and emotions we would otherwise drown out and ignore. We are brought back to things we might really need to put some attention to. Sure, being lonely does suck, but it can always be temporary. Once you begin listening to yourself and moving forward, that feeling of loneliness goes away. 7 things your loneliness will teach you. It will teach you that loneliness doesn't always come when you're alone. Loneliness is something we often assume comes when we are alone and unable to surround ourselves with people, but that is not true. When you experience loneliness, you realize that most of the time, it comes when you are surrounded by people. The more people you have around, the lonelier you become. You will realize how motivating it can truly be. Loneliness can be very motivating. It can really help you figure out where you need to go from where you are. No one likes the feeling that comes with being lonely, so avoiding them is something many work hard at. While it might not seem like much, the battle you go through to get out of that mindset is a motivational set in itself. You are never the same once you go through something like this. It will teach you to be content with who you are and where you are. Being lonely is not something anyone wishes for, but it does bring forth some positive aspects. If you do not like yourself or where you are in life, it will force you to come to terms with that and accept things on a core level. You will learn to be content in the body you have and figure out the areas in which you need to improve. Everything will be put into perspective. It will teach you to be thankful. Being lonely teaches us to be thankful. The lonelier we are, the more thankful we become for those memories and good moments. We realize what is truly important to us and how little attention we're paying to those things before. We begin to see where we have been making mistakes along the way. It will force you to heal from past life issues. Loneliness will force you to come to terms with a lot of things. When you are alone with your thoughts, things will come out that you never thought you would truly be able to deal with. This is both a good and bad thing depending on how you react to it. It will teach you who and what matters in your life. Loneliness teaches you who you really care about and who you don't. It shows you how far too often we end up surrounded by people who don't really give a stuff about us and allow us room to find our truest selves. The more you seek, the more you find. It will really show you how to be patient. Being patient is important in life, but most of us are not aware of that. Through being lonely, you'll become patient with others and with yourself. You'll really figure out how to stop and give yourself a moment when one is needed.